today crocheting. That's what we're going to be doing. And so I'm going to actually be making something today. And I'm going to cut my yarn. I guess if I have to buy new yarn. One skein here and there is not going to be too bad, I don't think. Okay, what I want to make, let's do a mystery making type of a thing. And that's what I'm going to start off doing. We're going to be working with some yarn today. Okay, I've got my tripod anchored here because in the past it was having some issues with falling over. I have a cool little anchor taking place. So I'm using 4-ply worsted weight yarn, acrylic, and a size J 10 6mm crochet hook. Okay, and I am going to start off with a chain of 4 or 5. 4. Let's do 5. 5. Okay. And I'm going to join right here. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to work 9 or 10 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's a little bit bigger hole than I want, but I can tug it shut like that. 10. I think that's good. I'm gonna just stop right there. And I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do is the continual round. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay, there it is right there. I wanted to make sure. Okay, I've got my screen up here. Shows up for myself. Okay, so I'm going to continue on, and I'm just going to work 20. So I'm going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. And okay, I'm going to pull this shut. Now I'm going to sew that in a little bit later. So what I'm going to keep doing right now, I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I've got 20 right now. I'm just going to stop and see if it's big enough for what I want. Okay, so I'm going to be working. I'm continuing with the continual round. Okay, let me hook my little tail up here. I've got a little tail down here. I'm just going to flip it on over here like this. And so it's going to be like that on the back side. I'm just using it as a stitch marker. That's what I've always done. I just use my tail as a stitch marker, so I don't buy anything fancy. So I've used paper clips before in the past, but yet you always find people selling stitch markers. You don't, I mean, it's something, a novelty. If you want to use stitch markers, you can, but I just use a tail of yarn as a stitch marker. So that's a little free tip there. If you're interested, is just use your tail as a stitch marker. Okay, so I've got 1 stitch done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, okay, I've got to pull off some yarn here. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. Well, this is probably going to work out. This is, and so I'm going to keep going here. I'm not increasing again. I'm just going to do 20 stitches. One. Well, hello, Ryan Latham. Ryan Latham says, I just walked in my roommate's room and the dog licking peanut butter off of his, what did you do? Licking peanut butter off of his, okay. Brian Latham, hello. He wanted to share that with us about his dog. He's got his dog in his room. Ryan Latham just told me that he's got his dog in his room and something about nut sacks and the dog is licking his nut sack. That's what he just told me, that his dog's in his room and is licking his nut sack. It's like, what in the world is going on there with Ryan that he's got his dog licking his nut sack? I mean, I hope you're talking about it's one you bought from the store and it's not actually literally, I mean, that is disgusting, Ryan. If that's something that you're doing, oh my goodness sakes. Or are you trying to make a joke there, Ryan? Hopefully we didn't roast you too much there. That's not the intent. It's just a joke. I think Ryan is trying to make a joke, Ryan Latham there. Oh, I know. We've heard that. You know, people talking about putting peanut butter on the wall and letting the dog lick peanut butter off the wall. We've heard the cow jokes, too. Oh, the cow jokes. The farmer cow jokes. And the farmers say that when they're done feeding the cattle, they have bruises all over their stomach. You guys, I think you guys can figure it out, right? Okay, so let's keep going. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so it's curving. Yeah, it's curving up pretty good there. That's about right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I really don't need this to be this big. It could be. Yeah, that's probably right. It's gonna, I'm at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Boo came in here. Hello, Boo. Boo. You got the peace sign and a smiley face and 2 thumbs up. Okay, so what number? Oh, I meant 4, 5, 6. Okay, Dipka Saha. Hello, Dipka Saha. Okay, I really don't think I need to count right now on this part anymore. As long as I've got somewhere close to 20, I can just keep going. And so we're doing shout outs and promotions. If you want your channel from what? Do you have something you'd like to share? Do you want to share where you're from? If you'd like to share where you're from, you can go on ahead and share where you're from. Please subscribe if you're new. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you're welcome to subscribe. And if you want to tell where you're from, that's fine too. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. Which country, which state, you know, that's up to you. Okay, and so I'm going to keep on working here for a little bit more. Okay. I'm not sure how many more rounds I'm going to go around. This one is a little bit, this one's smaller that we're making today, but it might not be. Why, thank you, Dipka Saha. I'm working on I'm actually working on a sock. I'm going to put it together. There's going to be 3 pieces with it, and it's going to be a small sock. This one's kind of fun. I should be able to get it done within an hour and a half is my estimate. I've got a good going here on it. Pretty good. I don't know how much further I need to make the toe here. You know, because it's a small sock. It's a really small sock, and so it could be a hat too if you have a Barbie doll or something like that. Could be a hat. Now, from what I've seen, it looks like there is some people doing some nefarious things with donated children's crochet hats. That's what I'm seeing. They're making their own artwork out of, you know, when people, because these things are stiff. And so do you see how they're stiff like that? And so they work out great for artwork for other things, you know, when they're sewing tapestries onto things for pictures and stuff like that. They're using them in some very strange ways. How can I explain this? So, for example, if Hunter Biden wanted to do a picture of himself and he wanted to attach something like this onto his jock strap, you know, he might do that. That's what I'm seeing, you know, so don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. Well, yeah, I'm going to stop right here. And so I'm going to be doing, let's see, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. Okay, so I'm going to be working in rows right now. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. Is that going to work? Is that far enough? 7. I think I'm going to do 10. 8, 9, 10. I will tell you I am from the United States. I'm not interested in being married to anybody, and I know you guys have been asking that because those of you outside of the United States are only interested in me because I'm an American citizen. I'm not interested in being married to anyone outside of the United States. And so I didn't realize that this was a problem that we have to deal with being in media, but apparently it is. Oh, you're a fan of the USA. I am a fan of the USA as well. I'm a fan of United States men, not foreigners. I'm not a fan of women related to being in a same gender relationship. Other people can do that. That's fine if that's what they want to do. That's not something that floats my boat. It actually would sink my boat more than anything. And so I have no desire to be in a relationship with someone outside of the United States as far as that goes with a marital relationship or anything like that. That's just not something I'm interested in. And so I think that's fair for me to say that because I'm not Hollywood. I'm not I'm not participating in what they're doing. I'm something different. I'm doing my own thing. And so, um, you're a fan of American music. Well, good. I'm glad you're. What kind of music do you like? Hello, Slavisa Obradovic. Slavika Obradovic. Okay, what? That's a nice name. I like that. Slavika. I hope I said it right. It sounds Russian, maybe. The names right here sound Russian. They could be Russian or Norwegian because there's a lot of similarities between Russian and Norwegian from what I see, from what I've seen. Okay, so now I'm going to be working 10 foundation stitches. That's 1. My favorite is Aretha Franklin. 2. I know the truth is we don't need a song to tell us that people should be respectful, but apparently there's a culture in the United States that does. They need a woman to tell them to be respectful. That's number 3. Didn't she pass away? 4. 5. 6. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I might make a drawing of some sort out of the word respect. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, you're Serbian. Well, thank you for coming around. I appreciate it. You know, if you guys want to subscribe, and I'm just going to keep saying your names the best I can. I don't mean to mess them up, but I will. I probably won't say your name right. Otherwise, I'll just spell it out if I can't say it right. But I don't know how to spell out the little hyphenated things on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've got 6. I need 4 more to do. 1, 2. That's 7, actually, not 1. 8. We got 2 more to do. 9 and 10. You're a huge fan of Taylor Swift. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Did you know that I just heard recently that Taylor and her boyfriend, her football star boyfriend, are getting married. And so I think that's probably the end of her career, because she's old. Taylor is old, and so he's old. They're both washed up superstars. That's what I'm thinking here, that they're probably... Uh-oh, I might have to pull this out because I might have did I do too much here that's not, and this is not going to work? Or let me see here. Oh, goodness. I am baffled with myself right now. At least I don't have too much done, but I want to... Okay, how big am I going to have to make the heel? Yes, Taylor Swift got married, or is getting married, and so she's probably going to end up knocked up with a baby or something. It From what I saw, it's real. From what I saw, it's absolutely real. It's a news article. That's how they release their information. And so, as far as I know, I'm not part of Disney though. I'm not part of a network, so I don't know. All I know is that I saw a bunch of flooded news stories about Taylor Swift getting married to Travis Kelce. And so, it was yesterday, I believe, on, what was it I was watching or looking at? I was looking at something on the internet. It was Microsoft, I believe, is where it came up at. So, as far as I know, it's real. Otherwise, I have no idea how. I wouldn't know. What are you crocheting? I'm kind of working on a sock here. Do you see that? It could actually be for a golf club too. A golf club sock. It can be a sock, a tiny Christmas stocking, or a baby sock. It'll work as all three. But people said this is for her new album. Oh, she has a new album? I don't pay any attention to Taylor Swift. Um, you know, I'm really just not that into her. I don't think she's that great of a singer. Okay, I'm going to rip this out, and I'm going to go back by, I'm not liking how it's turning up. I'm going to take out at least 2 stitches here. 2? I think I'm going to take out 3. Okay, so I'm going to leave 7, and that's probably going to work a little bit better there for me. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I have to do 13. Yeah, 13. So I'm going to work 1. Why do I do what? Why do I do the crocheting? Oh my gosh, I'm the Taylor Swift of crochet. Didn't you guys know that? I mean, I've been on YouTube for 20 years now, and I'm the Taylor Swift of crochet. Before she was famous, you know, she was just up. I was famous on YouTube before she was famous on YouTube. You know, so people knew who I was before she came on YouTube. So, you know, it's like you guys, someone promotes her. Oh, what age? I'll tell you guys that I'm over the age of 40. I'll tell you that much. 4, 5, 6, 6 and 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so this should work. I'm thinking this should work. Yeah, this is going to be a lot better than what I was doing before. Okay, we're going to join you right here. Okay, so Slavaka Obradovic says, my older sister crochets too. She tried teaching me, but I didn't have the nerves for that. She says it's relaxing. There is a truth to that, but if you're someone who's in a lot of turmoil though, it's hard. I can tell you that from experience. So when you're going through times that are very, very stressful, it is incredibly hard to crochet. And so there's another side of crochet that people who profess to be mental health experts, that they have never been through that side before. And so the thing is when you get into that funk, you just stop doing everything. You stop crocheting. You stop doing the things that you like doing because you feel so horrible about yourself that you go into this dark, dark funk, and it's hard to get out of it. No pills, no nothing is actually going to help you get out of it. You know, to me, I'm thinking instead of abusing a person further with trauma, you know, by cutting them off of money and stuff like that, and you know, performing further abuses on them, I would think that we would have an understanding society, but it doesn't seem to be that way, unfortunately. And so people who are going through really, really deep, dark, traumatic things, you know, and this includes the military families too, because I consider them my family. I understand them more than anybody ever can. Oh my gosh, why are we throttling here? Why in the world are we throttling? Okay, I'm throttling on my laptop and I need to get it back up so I can look at it. You know, so I always said that I understood Okay. Family mourns Star Tucker nurse and veteran shot 15 times. Oh my goodness. Is she a veteran of what? Let's see what she's a veteran of, because um I don't, oh my god, oh my goodness. Oh, in Florida. She was originally from California, built a life in Florida after graduating from Florida A&M University with a nursing degree. She later served with the United States Air Force. She's been working in Pensacola to raise her young son when her life was cut short August 21st. Oh my goodness. She was in the military with the Air Force. Such a beautiful young woman. And for that man, I don't know who that man is. He's a scumbag. He needs to be in prison forever. I have nothing nice to say about him at all. Um, Hello? Rock against communism music. Maybe if we closed borders, we could take excellent care of our own people instead of starving all to attempt to feed all. Thank you. I've been saying this for several years my own self. I agree with you. But apparently, I'm not sure what is going on right now, because absolutely none of this makes any sense. So you found out for real that it wasn't a sock. Oh, Jericho is back. Jericho is hilarious. Jericho is funny. If I had a picture Jericho, I would actually take that. This actually would work on there as a sock too, wouldn't it? Um, so you met him last night. But I agree with you. We're trying to talk about real issues here. Rock against communism music. If we closed all borders, we could take excellent care of our own people instead of starving all to attempt to feed all. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me to try to feed the world. And who is sponsoring this? I don't know, and I don't know why. I mean, not only feed, I haven't been getting any free food. I know the military doesn't get free food, that they profess that they are. You know what they do? This is what they're doing. They give one or two people from the military free food. They might buy one or two people from the military, typically a disabled veteran who's lost his legs. They'll pay off his mortgage, and that's it. And then they'll say, oh, there, we helped feed the veterans and the homeless veterans. And they'll house one person. That's all they're doing. And so, so it's a lie. And then they put it on TV as though they're literally helping them. This is a serious conversation you're having. I fill in all the juicy details another time. I just wanted to repeat, it was no sock. Okay, well, I mean, you saw it, Jericho. Go ahead, Jericho. Share with us what you saw about the sock. You saw that it wasn't a sock, and you saw that it was real, whatever it is that you're talking about. Um, and so, June He is back. What's going on? Yay, Chase Stoltz. Chase Stoltz says, yay, 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 yay. Oh, goodness sakes. No, most conversations on YouTube can't be taken too seriously anymore because of the fact that Chase Stoltz says, hi, everyone. And he says, hi. It was like this huge banana, same curve. Oh, there was a banana there instead. Okay. Are you talking about Peyronie's disease? I mean, nobody is fundraising to cure Peyronie's disease. You guys need to ask the pastors to say a prayer for you because you have Peyronie's disease. How come you guys have not caught on to this sooner? You need to go ask the pastors. You need to call in to all the pastors and ask them to say a prayer for you to cure your Peyronie's disease. It's probably unlikely that a lot of pastors are even going to know what Peyronie's disease is. Maybe they don't watch TV. They probably stay away from it because pastors don't like that kind of trash. That's worldly trash and garbage. So the pastors are not going to probably be looking at that. So, and if you've come up with another name for Peyronie's disease or something, but those of us we know what Peyronie's disease is. So you need to ask the pastors to say a prayer for you to cure Peyronie's disease, because otherwise they have nothing to pray for. They can't claim they have miracles. And then you can be one of these people who comes running out of the church and says, "Oh my, I'm healed. God cured my Peyronie's disease." You're thinking of having a headache. You're just thinking about having a headache. Why? Why are you thinking about having a headache? Is that because do you not like your husband anymore, or what is the deal with that, with your headache thing? I mean, did your husband do something to you to cause you to have a headache? Because I'm having a headache. Why are you having a headache? What happened that you're uh-oh, we got a twist here. I got to go back a little bit because that's not going to work. This twist is not going to work. Oh, we did it on the wrong side. What do we do here? This, okay. I need to, okay, I attached here, and I need to work on this top side, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so, okay, we got to keep you upright and not twist you around here. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So you're having a headache. So do you need to drink some water or something? Or, you know, drink some water and see if that helps. Sometimes I've found that when I'm constipated, I have a headache too. So if I have to go, I don't know how old you are, but if I have to, you have a bowel movement or something, a vowel movement, you know, A-E-I-O-U, the vowel movements, and in the toilet, you know, sometimes it helps. Drink a lot of water and have a vowel movement into the toilet with your A-E-I-O and U's, and then maybe you'll feel better. Your temples hurt. Your temples hurt. Yeah. Well, I hope you feel better. I mean, when you say temple, well, Temple, there's a Temple, Texas, and Shirley Temple. And, you know, so a lot of comments there. Oh, the church temples. We have some interesting words there mixed within the usages of different meanings. I like to call them homophones instead of the other word, you know, because hama or hame, you know, instead of using the, okay, so am I gonna, I hope I didn't make that too big. It might be too big. It's kind of coming across as, maybe I don't need it that big. Let me see. Maybe I don't. That's going to be for a chubby foot, that's for sure. If I do it this, yeah, no, that's going to be about right. That's about right. I got to leave it like that. And so then I'm going to come up with, I have to come up with kind of a, what's my time? Oh, it's not too bad. Your temples hurt. So are you on the internet a lot? Do you do a lot of reading, or you're under a lot of stress? Okay, so I'm unwinding here. And so I'm just working on the sock here. That's what I'm working on, is a sock, a little tiny sock here. I'll probably throw it away when I'm done because I'm going to sew it all together. And so I'm just working on a sock. This part here, this opening, is going to be the heel. And so this is how it's going to look, just like this. So you can probably get the vision here of what the sock is going to look like when it's done. And so what I'm going to make is an oval that fits in there, and then I have to sew it together. And so this is something that I got kind of, I wanted to come up with a different way to make crochet socks and baby socks and things like that, toddler socks, and this was one that worked. It actually works really good for adults too. Yarn is so gall darn expensive right now, so I don't want to be, I mean, my goodness sakes, it's next to impossible to sell an Afghan with these inflated prices from the tariffs and everything. Oh my gosh, nobody can actually sell yarn for that price. It's just too expensive, entirely too expensive for handmade. No one's ever going to make a profit from that, doing it by hand. I mean, it's an art, it's a hobby, it always has been. It's something you teach. And okay, so we're working on this sock here. I've told you guys it's a little sock here. And, well, I'm probably going to be able to have fun with this related to the mix with my AI when I take my AI pictures. And so I know there's a lot of people who are they're coming on YouTube now and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to use AI. And they're saying, oh, people are being encouraged to write their children's stories with AI books now. I never would have thought about that even years ago, that they were using AI to write children's books and then just slapping someone's name on it. Can you imagine that? I've thought that. As good as AI is right now, I've had a little taste of it. I don't get the full versions, but I get little tiny experimental snippets and things like that. But as good as it is, do you even need a singer? You really don't. And so it has me thinking, it's like, okay, you can be taking these band people who are already famous, and you can have them have voices that sounds like them, but it's not really them. And then you're paying them millions and millions of dollars, and they're not even actually doing concerts or anything at all anymore. I mean, something else is doing it. It's not even them doing it. So, I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? That's what I've been thinking. Because that's kind of deceptive. I mean, but I've always said though too, every one of us, when we upload something onto the internet, we're using AI. We're using AI once it's becoming digitized once we upload it on the internet. So it's like, what's the difference? It's just that the deceptive nature. I mean, I don't think AI can crochet this well. I have no idea. Even though I've been accused of being AI before, a lot, not just a little, but a lot. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to do a couple more rounds up here. And so this is how it's going to look. And so what I need to do next then is come up with an oval that fits in here. And so that's what I'm going to be coming up with, as an oval. So this is the top cuff and this is the toe part. And then it can be like a tiny Christmas stocking. It can be something that fits on if you have a kid, you can put it on your kid's feet, make two of them. Or you can use it as a golf club cover. And a lot of people, if you want to do crochet golf club covers, you can sure do this too. It'll work as a golf club sock. And, so this is quick and easy. Something quick and easy that you can do in I'm going to say less than 2 hours. I have the main part of it pretty much done. The next part I just need to do is the oval, kind of a circle. I like the oval. I like the oval and the points, because I just think that I found that it fits in better that way with the oval and the points. Because if you look at the construction of a sock, that's what you have on the sock, is the oval and the points. That's what you have right in here. And then you could even, if you wanted to, I'm trying to think, I mean, gosh, if you wanted to do this like a sock monkey, let me think. How would you? Oh my gosh, look what we got. We could, oh, oh my goodness, the farm animals I can make out of this. I just gave myself a new plushie discovery here. See, this is if I kind of wish I would have kept my original YouTube channel right now. I really do. I probably would have come to this conclusion a little sooner. But I'm just thinking, now, if I was going to make a farm animal, a plushie, I would just sew some of this up right there. But anyway, well, I have this noted, and I'm going to take a clip. Okay, so I got a little tiny clip. I have not been finding my clips, but I've not been, I don't know where they're going. They were visible, and then now they've kind of just disappeared. And anyway, but that's just clip as a reminder for myself of that I can turn this into a farm animal plushie, doing it in the opposite direction. Even though I'm making a booty, I mean, this is how things are engineered. This is just how I do things. Okay, so I'm back around here. That's probably a big enough cuff for this example, because that's what it is as an example. And so, okay, I think I'm going to just blend this in right here. And I'm going to just, yeah, that's a good place to stop it right there. Okay, so I'm going to cut. And so this means I can use this yarn, but do you see how this already looks like a sock right now? You see that? It already kind of looks like a sock. And if I did it this direction, it looks like some, oh, it kind of looks like a turtle a little bit too, doesn't it? It really does. Oh my gosh, a hat. What in the, I almost don't want to put that other part in, because I'm thinking I could have fun creating this into animals right now, but I said I was going to make the sock, and so I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to put my little needle down there, because I'm going to need that here in a little bit. I'm going to set it up here and hope I don't lose it. Okay, so what I need to do, let's set you right here. So what I need to do right now is we'll get it here. I have to unravel my yarn. Okay, so what I need to do is attach this yarn right here like this. And then I'm going to work a chain. I think I'm going to do a chain 3, because 4 is kind of big. And then I'm going to work, let's say, about 6 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. 6 is always a good number to start off with. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 10. That's what I'm going to do. And so now what I'm going to do, now I have a little bit tighter circle here in the middle, because down here I made it a little bit larger, but that's okay. I'm going to be able to sew it up. And so what I need to do this time is, okay, I'm going to work in 1, 2, 3, 4. Should I have increased? Let me think. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I should have increased on this one. Okay, so let me start over. So I'm gonna do 2 in the next. I'm gonna end up with 8 on this first segment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, Wayne Chisholm, you like watching paint dry. I know I do too sometimes. I agree with you, watching paint dry. Now it does have kind of a stinky smell to it. So we've got 8 here. We worked in 4 stitches. We're in the 5th, and so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 in this one. So I have 11. So I'm going to end up with 22 stitches is what I should have. And so I did this because I'm trying to make a point. And so the point is that it's going to be going right in here. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to do 8 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to work 3 stitches in the end here. 1, 2, 3. And so you can see we have kind of an oval taking place here because I've got points. And so I want them to stick right in here like that. And so I'm thinking that I should only need to do 1 or 2 more rounds here. So I'm going to see if I'm going to just do my 8 and see if that works. If it starts tugging too much, I might need to increase. Otherwise, I'm not going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that seemed to work pretty good. So in the edge here, okay, I'm going to do 1. And then for my increase, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 at the tip here. And so I'm going to do, so I'll have 9 on the side. Well, actually, I'm going to have more than that. 9, 10 on the side, I believe, because there's 1 extra one on each. Yeah, we did increase technically. With this, we did increase. So I'm going to do 1. And then I need to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we had 10. So we have 4 increases. Do you see how it's turning into an oval? It looks like an eyeball, actually. Do you see that? It looks like an eyeball. So now we are going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 in the point. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I still, okay, I'm going to see what this looks like. That's not enough. It does fit in there, but I want it to be a little bit more. So we're going to do 1 more round. Okay, so this is actually, if you're not going to put it on, that would actually be pretty good. If maybe I should stop if it's not going to be something that a kid is going to be wearing, or say you wanted to hang it next to a chimney. This is the perfect shape right here for hanging it next to a chimney or on a wall. If you wanted something for a holiday stocking, this is a perfect size. But I'm trying to make it. Let me do 1 more round. Jared, he pounded you? Oh, Jericho, you have such a big imagination. What kid are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about your ex-girlfriend's boyfriend that you have a crush on? I think that's what you're talking about. Now, he talked about pounded, and pound reminds me of the British pound and the pound cake and Paula Poundstone and who else? What pound? A pound of, oh my goodness sakes, a pound of candy? That's so much candy. Entirely too much candy. Okay, so this one is probably going to be 12. I think. 1, let me get going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I mess up? Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stop right there, and I'm going to put my 3 in here because that looks good enough. In crochet, we don't have to trust our counting that much in some instances, and this is one of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and now I'm going to do my 1, 2, 3. I mean, we have got a bona fide eyeball, right? Look at that. Oh my gosh, now I don't want to sew it in there. It's like the pic. If I was recording this, I'd be stopping and taking pictures all of this, and I'd be putting it into the camera and using it for the AI thing, because this is a really cool picture of an eyeball right now. Even though it's the heel. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is, yeah, that's exactly what I need right here. This is a perfect size. I believe that's a perfect size. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off, what's my time at? Okay, I'm going to cut off a length of yarn. Okay, so I'm going to kind of measure here and cut off a length of, I'm going to run it around like 2 times here, just like this, because I kind of want to see how much I need some extra yarn there. Okay, so what did I miss here? I missed something. And so what I am going to do here, let's wait, let's see what Jericho comes back with. He's telling I think he's telling some kind of a story. And he needs a place to tell his story too. And so he's doing it in little bits and chunks so he can share his story on the internet. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I need to put this inside out. We're going to be sewing it together now. And so I want to take, okay, I need to pull this little thing back in here. I need to pull it tight like that, nice and tight. I got to pull it up, cinch it up there nice and tight. We're going to make a knot. Okay, we're going to make a knot there. Now I want to make a farm animal, though. Okay. I don't want to have a hole there, but I have a big giant hole there now. I'm just going to leave it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it. Because I might discover something else to make with my sock here. Okay, so I make lots and lots of knots here because I'm always afraid that they're going to come out in the washing machine over time, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm notorious for, I'll split the yarn and then, let's see, I'll split the yarn and then sew it back together. I'm not going to do it on this one because it can be time consuming sewing in all the tails. And so sometimes I try to just go between all the stitches just like that. And then cut. Oh my goodness, my scissors they're not cutting very well at all. Okay, so I've got to sew this little part in up here too. It's just makes it easier to sew the tails in at it makes it easier to sew the tails in it along the way And that's so that I'm going to make a knot right here, though, an extra knot. Now, I always find it funny, though. Now, if I'm trying to pull, if I make a mistake and I need to pull my work apart, I get knots, and sometimes I can't get them out. But something that I make, and if it goes through the washing machine, then I end up with the whole thing coming apart. I don't know why that happens. It's just kind of like it's something that has always been that way. Okay, that part is a little bit sharper. So, okay, so I'm still working on the inside. So right now I'm working on the inside. So you can see there's a slight difference, even though they kind of look the same. There's a slight difference. Now I want to sew this in. I've got to sew this one in while I'm inside here. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to sew this in. This part here that looks like an eyeball. I totally love this. And it's like, I'm going to sew it in now. And if I didn't have that little AI thing going on there, my little love affair with AI right now, I've got the perfect eyeball. You know what? Maybe I think I need to take a picture of it, though. I'm going to have to do this. I've got to take a picture of this eyeball once I get this sewn in. I've got to use Pixel to take a picture of eyeball here and see what we do with eyeball here. Even though we know it's an oval, it looks like an eyeball. Oh my gosh, this is like a perfect green monster eyeball. Okay, we're gonna set, hang on here. I gotta set you right there like that. Hang on. Jericho, I have given him all the reason to think he's better now. Okay, you've given him a reason to think he is better with what? Okay, let's see, Pixel. Okay, we need camera. Where did camera go? Okay, there's camera. Okay. We're probably going to have a flash here. Nope, we didn't get a flash. I need to get rid of shadow down there. Shadow is showing up. I need flash. Get rid of shadow. Okay, so you guys should have seen the flash take place. I'm going to take one more eyeball. We got... Well, oh yeah, can you guys see me taking a picture? Let's move it on in here and we'll let you watch. We'll take a picture. Well, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun there. So you guys saw I was taking a picture of, we had a picture of a picture going on there. And so, okay. So I got that out of the way because I was kind of thinking that's kind of going to be a fun thing to take a picture of and see what AI comes up with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to start over here. And so I'm going to place this part right in here. I'm working on the inside. Hello, Jericho, because you gave in to him. Why did you do that? You loved him so much you gave in to him? Okay, alrighty then. Jericho is sharing a story in little bits and chunks and pieces in different places on the internet. And I kind of know what his story is. But he's compelled to share it with me. And we're letting him share it. Because I wanted him to know he was better than you. Oh, that he was better than you. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. Because I don't have a needle. What I'm going to have to do is stretch a little bit here. And so I'm just going to have to do the best I can here. And so I think that I'm going to be working these up here like this. Oh, now he's retracted all of his messages. So he shared with me what's going on, and then he's retracting his messages because I think that he might feel a little bit, I'm not going to say embarrassed, but it's just a story he doesn't want coming out for others to be using or using against him in the future. If he ever decides to become a politician or something like that, he doesn't want that coming out and destroying him if he decides to become a politician in the future or something like that, or some kind of civic leader where he might have a future of something, and then he told too much on the internet, and then the opposing party and the opposing people and those outside of the United States are just there just to completely destroy and annihilate him. I think that's probably what his Jericho's concerns are, related to what he did, which I don't even really know what he did, but he's just saying he did something. Okay, so we're sewing this all together here. This is working out really, really good. I'm kind of glad I still have it a little bit as far as that goes with my skills here. It's taken me a long time. It's like when you have something traumatic happen to you in your life, it really just, that the traumatic stuff just kind of overshadows everything, and every horrific thing that happened in your life overshadows, the ability for you to be able to just function, and it makes it really, really hard, when you lack a support network, and you lack caring and understanding people in your life, who just are always there just to needle at you, and they're trying to get a rise out of you. I would think that I would be the kind of person that American intelligence would want on their team. Because I'm going to bore the hell out of the enemy. I don't have therapy. Our jizzle. I don't, most of us don't have therapy. What therapy do we have? Now let me share something with you. Yeah, I'm going to bore the hell out of your enemy. Okay, so let's share this with you. So what therapy do we have? So now we're going to have this is what we're going to have right now. We are going to have people around the world now. They're going to want therapy. So most military families don't have therapy. And at one time, for men, they were told to just be a man up, and not talk about problems. Well, you know what happens when men don't talk about problems? They start to punch walls. They punch walls, and then they start punching their kids and their wife and whoever's around, because they've been told to hold all their pain inside. That's kind of what my dad actually was telling me to do as well with a lot of things. Vedant Sharma. Yes, I do remember your name from the other day. Now, if you're a person who was here in a different name from that, I don't remember you, no. But I do remember you right now because you were here the other day. So, therapy, I just don't know. Therapy is a fun word too. Take therapy and separate it. Therapist. Now separate therapist at the E, between the E and the R, and you tell me what you get. We have fun with the word therapist on the internet, and apparently on TV before we actually had the internet. But this was my own discovery that I made on my own, is that we have fun with the therapist, and we turn the therapist into something that the therapist we have fun with the therapist. The couch potato therapist. And the Golden Girls, I was watching the Golden Girls last night, and the Golden Girls actually, the Golden Girls was where I learned about the therapists who are using their therapy sessions to actually write books and become book authors, and they were just changing the names of their patients and their clients into something else. Okay, so no, I'm the guy who told you about you can put an image in, oh, into Chat GPT. Yes, you're right. Yes. Um, I can put images into Chat GPT, into Gemini, and into Copilot. So I used Copilot kept popping back up again, and so I used all three of them today. Yes, I like putting images. What do you think of gender theory? Okay, tell me what the gender theory is. What's your gender theory? Um, I'm almost done with this. This thing is cool. T loves Zoe. So, hello, Zoe. You came back for another shout out. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to share or put into chat, please put them. I don't know what is the gender theory. Um, the gender. I mean, okay. We have two genders. We have male, female. We also have genders that are anomalies, which means that on rare occasions there is genders that come up as similar to earthworms, which is hermaphrodites, and that's real. Now, how do you classify people who, oh, this is cool. Look at this. Look at, I could have made this a little longer and I still can. That is cool. Okay, let me see. I could have probably made this a little bit bigger out here too, but this works. Do you see that? Only two. Okay, that's fine. Only two genders. I agree with only two genders, and I never aligned with the, it's like if a person wants to be, I mean, you can tell, okay, your 2-year-old child, your child who is under 18 is going to want to be many, many different things when they're underage. They're going to want to be Batman and Spider-Man and Superman, even the girls, so children are too young, and there's even adults that I would say are ill-equipped with life's experiences to know what they want to be. And I think gender is, we only have two genders. I agree with that. I always agreed with just two genders. Your grandma never weaved you a sweater? I actually used to make my kids sweaters. I had pictures. I wish I had all my stuff. Because I used to show you guys what my kids look like and the sweaters I made for them. And I made my youngest son a cute little sweater. Oh my gosh, he was so cute in that little sweater. And then I think my husband at that time, he was making fun of me because of the fact that my son was wearing that red sweater, and it was like those men were making fun of my son for wearing his red sweater, and they were feeling like I was turning him into too much of a sissy, I guess. I mean, he just had a nice little he had a nice little side of, I'm not even sure what I'd call it. He was just a nice young man. And you know what? The way I raised him, I raised my son. I raised my son how to be nice and kind to women. And he was the one who was always getting dates. My older son was not getting as many dates as my youngest son got. And so I basically taught my son that if you want to be around women, you got to be nice to women and you got to do things that women like doing. But if you're going to treat women mean and you're going to be a jerk and expose your genitals on the internet and in real life and stuff like that, women are not interested in that. That just means you just want some kind of booty call or something like that. Women are not interested in that. That just means you're showing your true colors, and you're actually committing crimes when you're doing that in real life. And you need to be in prison. Let's see. How is my younger one what? Oh, my son, he's homeless. He's actually homeless. My younger son is homeless. So he was in the military and he's homeless. He doesn't have a place to live, actually. Okay, so there is, look at that. Pretty cool, huh? So I know what I'm doing here. Let's flip this over. This is really cool. That looks cool. I like that. Well, you guys didn't want to listen and take me seriously when I was telling you things and saying, oh, homelessness is a problem. You didn't want to take us seriously? My son is homeless. Him and his wife and his kids are homeless. Because he don't live with me because I'm homeless. I don't have a place to live. I'm homeless my own self. I've been homeless for over 3 years. I've been telling you guys this. And no, they don't live in a rental. No, nobody can afford to get into rentals right now. Rentals are too expensive because they've just been raising the prices higher and higher. My son was living in a rental with, well, no, it wasn't a rental. He was living in a house that was being foreclosed on, actually. It was the house of I'm not even sure why the house wasn't paid for that he was living in. So he was living with his in-laws in a house that is being foreclosed on, but he said it's a dump, and he said, so he had to move. So it belonged to his mother-in-law. She inherited it. Now she got a boyfriend and got married and moved out of the house. And so she left the house for her ex-husband and my son and his wife and kids to live in. So she went and lived someplace else. And so the house actually belonged to the mother-in-law. And so she got divorced from her husband, and for a period of time when my son was there, the mother-in-law and the father-in-law actually were in the house, but they were divorced. They were divorced but still living together. But the house is a dump. They were making payments on it. I don't have a place to live. And there's just a point that I'm not going to answer any more questions related to this third-degree burn that people do related to their semantics on what living is, because there's certain places that are just not suitable for living. And you go through this over and over and over again, and they're not homes. It's not a home. And so there's a lot of you who want to go through this. I'm not telling where I'm at right now. I'm in a temporary location. It's not a home. It's not a home. There's people who want to say that it's their home, but it's not. It's just not. For me, it's not. It's a disgusting place, especially with the things that's been done. And so anyway, so my son actually moved out from where he was with his father-in-law. So his father-in-law I don't know where his father-in-law is now, but his father-in-law was in the house with them. But my son said they were going to have to move because the house was being foreclosed on. I don't make a living. I'm actually one of these people who is living in poverty, but because of pensions that are more than, how do I word this? Pensions, I mean, this happened to me in my first marriage too. So when you have a combination of alimony and pensions at the same time, that is just enough to put you over what a person gets for welfare, then you're priced out of getting welfare and you're told to just go get a job. So I'm one of these people who lives in poverty because I'm not eligible for welfare. And so and this is millions and millions of people in the United States this happens to. This is a real thing. And I've been talking about this for a long time because after I got divorced from my first husband, I was told to just go get a job. Well, when you go get a job, you're placed out of you're out of reach of getting any welfare assistance. Now the thing is, we've always been told there's rental places who don't want to rent to you. This is discrimination I'm describing here. Now listen to this. So there's rental places who don't want to rent to you if you get money from welfare because of the fact they want to inflate the price of their rental units higher. That's because they're causing inflation in rental housing. That's what it is. And so I don't have a living right now. Housewives don't have a living. Housewives never had a living ever. So, I'm at a place where there's a lot of abuses taking place right now. There's a lot of abuses. But these are things I've shared with my politician. Hello, teacher boy. But no, my son is not in a rental. My son is now in a house with, he's still homeless. Him and his wife are homeless, but they're in a house with their dad. Their dad is a former military veteran. His dad is in a house that is very, very expensive in a flood zone. And so that's where they're at right now. And plus, there's also another kid there that is by the stepmom. The stepmom had a son, and so he's still in the house, and he's an adult. Yeah, what the divorce rate in America? I don't know. I'm gonna make my own guess though. I'm going to make my own guess, so keep that in mind. I'm making my own guesstimate on what the divorce rate is. I'm going to say 85 to 90%. I'm going to say the divorce rate is that high right now. I'm going to say it's between, let me go on a bottom end too. I'm going to say 70% to 90% is the divorce rate in America. That's where I'm going with this, is 70% to 90%. That is my guesstimate. Because the thing is when you have inflation this bad, marriages don't work. I don't care how Christian you are, marriages are not going to work, because then you end up with a husband who's telling his wife who's raising kids to go get a job, and then she has all that pressure of, oh fuck, I need to go get a job, and he's grinding on me every fucking day. I'm taking care of the kids, which this is my job, taking care of the kids. Now I gotta fucking go out of the house and find a goddamn place to go to fucking work, and I'm in a shithole small town of 400 fucking people, and there's no place for me to work. So if you've got a town of 400 people, now keep this in mind. Keep this in mind for your math. You've got a town out of 100 people, you know how many are divorced. I don't know any married people right now. Come to think of it, I don't know any married people right now. The people I'm around are all single. And so I know I've been divorced twice myself. So the marriage rate for me is not good at all. That's my life experience. It is not good at all. So out of 100 people, how many? All my siblings have been divorced. My daughter has been divorced. I have cousins who have been divorced. But the number one reason for divorce is cheating. I don't know, but that's not a reason to get divorced. But I mean, people probably use that as a reason, because at one time, I think at one time that was a reason, and there was some type of harm or something that came out of that. Cheating is not I don't think cheating is a reason for divorce. Using cheating as a reason for divorce is, there's more to it than that. Um, I think the thing with that, okay, this is what I think about is like with both men and women, they're trying to get out of the marriage because both of them are unhappy because they can't make ends meet. So they cheat with someone else and they use that as a way, they use that as a vice to distract from their own problems, cheating with someone else. I mean, yeah, you make things worse, but they're trying to get out of a situation. They're trying to find someone who is okay. This is a circular problem, and if I need to put it on paper, I will. I'll put it on paper because it's a circular problem. You've got the married couple here, the married couple here. And I know even my first husband, the woman he married, she's like, "Well, you should get married to my husband." And it's like, "Why the fuck would I want to do that? He divorced you. He divorced you, bitch. Why would I want to get married to your husband?" I mean, he's been in the same town for his whole life and he probably has no desires and he doesn't have the means to even get a job. So you have a married couple here, married couple here. You might have a single guy here who's never been married before. He's just looking for a woman somewhere. But this guy is not interested in either of the women here. He just wants to get with a woman. That's all he wants. So it's a jumping from here to here to here to here to here because you need two incomes to take care of things. And so if you have a town of 400 people, you better be having 400 jobs in that town, hadn't you? You better be having 400 jobs. If you have a town, and okay, let's subtract 25 of those jobs off for kids that are under 18. Or should we include 15 of those jobs because they're teenagers, they're getting ready to go into life? You need to have jobs for those 15 kids because of the fact that they're going to be turning 18 soon. Then those kids need jobs. The kids need jobs. Why do you think people move away and towns become ghost towns? That's because there's no jobs in that town of 400 people. So they move to a big city. The big cities get larger. The big cities get inflated in prices. Prices keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. What's the average body count of such people? What do you mean body count? I don't know. What do you mean body count of people who are cheating? I don't know where they get the statistics of people who are cheating. To me, it just sounds like something in media that people throw it around all the time too. It's like, people they have slept. Oh, I don't know who the body count statistics are. You'd have to look at the notches on the bedpost. You'd have to go look at a bedpost that has notches on it that used to belong to some guy who, from like Bat Masterson or something like that, who has a bunch of notches on the bedpost. Or Wayne Newton. Wayne Newton would be, go look at Wayne Newton's bedpost. Or what's his name? Oh gosh, what's his name? John Wayne. Look at John Wayne's bedpost. Nobody keeps those statistics. And men lie. Men lie. Okay, the thing I'd always heard was men are always out there cheating all the time. That's what we always heard. Now I'm hearing just the opposite, and there's guys who are saying, "Oh my gosh, we can't even find a woman at all." They're saying they're having a hard time. In India, the divorce rate is 1.5%. That's probably because when they're done with the woman, they dig a big hole and they throw her in it and bury her alive. Is that what takes place? I'm guessing that's what happens in India. When a man's done with his wife, he digs a big hole and he just throws her in it. And he says, "The hell with you. I don't want you anymore," right? It's the society and culture which is responsible marriage and divorce. There's no such thing as responsible marriage and divorce. India is going to be met with the same thing. They're going to have the same thing happening as women are gaining independence around the world. and not being oppressed as much anymore. Because I know that when my first husband was in Operation Desert Storm, he was always telling me about and he was hearing from the other guys too. He was always telling me about um, the stories, and he said that for a man in the Middle East to get divorced, all he had to do was say that he wanted divorced from his wife, and he didn't actually even have to go through a court system at all. 98.50% is successful marriage. Okay, in the United States, we could say that 100% of marriages are successful marriages up until the point they get divorced, right? I mean, we could literally say that. We could lie. This is how the media gets wings and lies its ass off. So we could say, yeah, 100% of marriages in the United States is successful, which they are. You didn't want to go in that direction, Vedant Sharma? I just did. We can say, yes, 100% of marriages are successful. And they were done by God, too, in God's name. For crying out loud, it's always God's name in church. 100% of marriages are successful. Once you both sign on the dotted line, that's 100% success rate until it gets in the court system. But we're only telling one side of the story. We're just telling one side of the story. You're living here. They are happy until death. Who wants to live miserable with a man until death? Is it a fictitious husband? Because if I'm going to be married to a fictitious husband, I would be happy until death too, being married to a fake man, if that's what it is, and I never have to see him, you know. And then in the meantime, I can find myself a little strange stuff on the side. Some guy, I'm married to a husband that I never know who he is. Maybe an estate owner or something. I mean, so you have the real person here, and then you have the estate owner person over here. So the real person is here. This is real person name here, and who puts his property into the estate over here. They're two different people. I mean, they're the same person, but two different people. And so if you're married to a fake person, in the name of whatever, I mean, well, they're only happy until death because the women have no voice. I mean, are they making lots of money? Because I'll tell you, once they have a hard time making money, things are going to change, and he's going to be telling her to go find a job. And see, in the United States, when people were taken care of, my grandparents are the ones that I saw taken care of, but I never saw my grandparents fight ever. Not once did I ever hear my grandparents fight. If they're not miserable, then why are the men trying to get with American women then? Because I guarantee it. The thing that I'm going to say is that American men are going to have a hard enough time with me. But a man from another country, I'm going to make his life miserable. He's going to sign a prenuptial agreement that he's never going to get American citizenship. He's never going to live in the United States. That's the type of marriage that I'm really not interested in the man to begin with anyway. That's from another country. I'm just not interested at all. Not at all. Do you get it? Do you get it yet? It's just not something I'm interested in. Hello, Chase Stoltz. They are NRI, which means they really don't belong anywhere. Oh, is that the nomads? Is that like the gypsies, what we call the gypsies and the nomads? I mean, because I keep hearing that we have this huge, huge gypsy population, even in the United States. And so somebody is taking care of some of the gypsy people. Is that what you're calling? I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful word for it, but I'm not related to. Oh, finish my thing here too. Isn't that pretty good? What I finish it at about an hour. And so it's going to make a cute little, let's see if we can get it to stand up. I should, oh, yes, absolutely. Look at this. I'm so excited. I did, I'm so excited about this that I actually, oh my goodness sakes. I am so excited. And if I did two sides, I could maybe make I don't know what I've got here. See how it looks like a golf club? You know, so let's pretend this is a golf club. It's really tiny and it's going inside like this. And then it goes in there, but it doesn't fit because this thing is too tiny and this thing is way too big. It's like a big cave in a cavern, but this is not a real golf club now, is it? No, I don't have anything remotely close to a golf club. This could actually be like a cup cozy. For example, if you had I could make it larger and turn it into a coffee cup cozy. If I made it large, that would be kind of funny. It would be ridiculously funny to make a sock for a coffee cup. I don't know what the purpose would be. Well, to keep your, it would just be funny though, I guess. Maybe I'm glad I made this. Now that I think in hindsight, I can't, I wouldn't, I already tried. I'm not going to make money doing it. It's not something I can make money selling. No, I'm not using eBay. I've already tried eBay over 25 years ago. I tried eBay, didn't work. The fees are too expensive. I'm going to be dealing with import fees and export fees. I have fees, eBay fees, listing fees, the same thing with Etsy. I'm not doing it. I liked what I was doing on YouTube a whole lot better. You know, when we had ad revenue until PewDiePie destroyed it for everybody. And I think that my theory on that is that they purposely did that just as something to try to say that YouTube is a horrible place, that Google is a horrible company. I think that was purposely done. When I think about it, I think Disney purposely did something to try to destroy the mindset of people against the internet. I mean, they've been doing it. I've been sitting here watching them do it in my 20 years that I've been on YouTube. And, they're a children's company. I think that Deep State is the federal government and the FBI and an investigation that's taking place. Maybe in media and on the internet, possibly. I'm not positive. But I know that Deep State has some deep intelligence within it too, within the intelligence community. And that's going to be people who are multilingual. They're linguists within the United States. You don't know who they are, and you're not going to know who they are or where they're at. And so I could be talking to a Deep State person out in public, and they're actually have allegiance to the American public, but they actually might have an Indian accent maybe, or they might have a Saudi Arabian or Arabic accent or a Mexican accent, and I wouldn't know. It's same thing with Russia. They could have a Russian accent. So they're basically a double agent is what they are. What would you like to say to a Russian communist? I'd like to tell them to go fuck off. They can go fuck theirself and suck their own dick and stick their head up their ass. That's what I'd like to tell them. I really would. I don't know how to say that, but you can say that to them. I mean, they're a piece of shit and a garbage. They're a piece of shit and garbage because they oppress things from people, and it's like I never in a million years would have imagined that the United States would go down that direction. Stalin in hell just got offered he just got offered a free ticket to the ghost world. Well, Stalin got offered a free fuck job with the devil. Offended? Who's offended? You're offended by what I'm saying? I mean, I can get worse. Do you want me to get worse? I mean, I get censored if I get worse, so I'm still who I am. I mean, it's just I've gotten a little bit worse. I try, the thing is, the thing that didn't resonate with me at the beginning of YouTube, I felt like I had to take on this persona of if I let my true colors out, then the advertisers aren't going to want anything to do with me. That's what Disney was pushing. Disney was pushing that bullshit. So we took on this persona of, oh my gosh, we got to have our hair look in a certain way. I can't look gray. I can't have gray hair because of the fact that, the advertisers don't want to deal with anybody over the age of 35. We can't curse too much, because the advertisers don't like that. But this is all the bullshit Disney was telling us. And so Disney wasn't, when they portrayed themselves on TV, they're portraying actors and actresses who are not real people. On the YouTube, we have real people. No, oh, Stalin is offended? Who's offended? How in the world is a dictator going to be offended by anything when they're the ones who are killing their own people? They're killing their own people. They starve off their own populations. That's what they're doing. So when you talk about what's the word? Sanctions. Dictators sanction their own people. You sanction people with money. You sanction people with inflation. That's a terrorist. That's a terrorist president. When they sanction people with higher fees. I mean, can I make my argument any more clear that you're sanctioning in the United States your own people? You're sanctioning. I am not allegiance to any party, but you're sanctioning your own people with higher fees, higher tariffs. When you make prices higher on purpose, you are sanctioning your own people. Someone is doing this, and it's coming out of the private sector. It's coming out of housing. It's coming out of food. It's coming out of clothing. And so it's the shell game. Now you see me, now you don't. 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 And so it's like they'll pop up here with one thing and then something else. I mean, you guys know what's happening. You know it. You know it as well as I do. It's just we need more people to talk about it and say, why do we have higher prices? I'm bold about this. I'm bold straight up front, and I'm going to say, we don't have to have higher prices. But you know who bucks against me? That is Wall Street. And Wall Street is like, oh, but then if we have the government place a cap, that's what I asked for, is a cap. If we have the government place a cap on rent, then nobody wants to build houses. That's what they're saying. But that's not true. The government could come in and hire other people in the United States for a lower price and not do the Wall Street thing, and you just bypass Wall Street. Wall Street's here, the government's over here. So you get some people who are not part of Wall Street. Wall Street is a problem. Wall Street's a big problem because they put this stuff on the internet and they go around with their rhetoric, and then they go around telling us, it's like, oh, but you're asking for, then you don't have a fair and open market. It's like, well, yeah, your fair and open market is interest. Your Wall Street here, your interest here. What is the product with interest? Tell me that. What is the product we get with interest and higher prices? So why is a house, okay, I'm going to go back to this example because I think it's an excellent one. In the year 1900, a house is $3,000. A 1,000 square foot house is $3,000. Over here in the year 2022, a 1,000 square foot house, the same price, same size, is actually $500,000. What is the value that we've gotten in between from here to here? There's a bunch of interest. There's a bunch of money. It's 14,900% jump of inflation from the year 1900 to the year 2025. What is the value that we've gotten in here? But in the meantime, you've got Donald Trump being a king sitting on a pile of cash. So do you see my comparisons with corporations being dictators? I've been making this argument for at least 10 years. You know, I focused for the first 5 years on my YouTube channel. And then when I started talking about corporations being a problem, then I lost my original YouTube channel when I started asking these questions of the future generation. You know, what we talk about, kicking the can down the road, and how come the future generations are struggling. You know, I don't agree with it. You know, I'm not an economist, but I'm just basing things off of my life experience, that of being a military spouse, and why military can't survive, why the American public, the majority of the American public, can't survive. I mean, I can keep on going and going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny if you would like. I mean, because I'm passionate about this. Yes, maybe if I was married, I would drive a husband insane talking about this stuff. Now, you know what? My second husband, you know what he told me? He says, well, if you don't like how things are, you need to go be a politician and change it yourself. Which I knew at that time, one individual person can't just change it. But there's two ways to go about at it. One of them is you can become a politician, but then you might have some guidelines and restrictions that you have to follow through with, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never been a politician. But in media, I'm just me. I'm talking straight up. And if I was a politician, yes, absolutely. Mia I. Yeah, Mia I. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Absolutely, because the gap. Let's take the gap. We'll use the toe here, and over here is the toe. You know, this is the rich people over here. So we started at the toe here when we made our booty. As a small example, our sock. We started down here. So the rich just go up here. They get richer, and the poor just don't. So if we had, so my thinking is, why can't we have just a flat? You know, but the rest of the world, apparently, I don't know if it's the rest of the world or if it's the United States who does it. I know Wall Street's a problem. Which countries are doing it? I mean, the United States government puts money out. It's money in, money out. It's not Wall Street. You can't run the government like Wall Street. The government, even though they do make profits from time to time, they will make profits from time to time. The government itself is struggling because of the fact of inflation. The government is allowing inflation to take place. You know, Wall Street has its hand out all the time. Elizabeth Warren talked about this. Elizabeth Warren is a Democrat. Now, for the people who are pissed off at Democrats, the only thing I can say is Elizabeth Warren is a right-wing hack into the Democrats. It's like, hire me as a right-wing hack into the Democrats. Or the Republicans, one of them. I'm going to be in the center no matter which way you go. I'm going to be in the center because I'm for the American people. I don't need a party because I see that they're full of crap. And right now, it's like they want their next book deal. They want to make themselves millionaires. It's like, it does nothing for me. I want to live comfortable. That's what I want. I want to live comfortable. I don't feel like I have to be a king. I never wanted to be a king. I never wanted to be famous. I just like to live comfortable, you know. I mean, and how in the world Hollywood has put their background staff. Now, Hollywood has its own housing market crash coming up because they've placed their background staff into mansions. They've got them on YouTube now doing YouTube channels, and they're kind of collaborating through this back doorway. And they're saying, oh, this should work. This should work. And they got their background staff in there. They're still collaborating through the back doors ways or whatever. And so we all know that Disney buys houses for their employees, right? Well, now they got their background staff. They're trying to turn the background staff into celebrities, I guess. They want them doing things that, but they've got them living in mansions. Now, why are they living in mansions? Who's paying for them? And they're just saying, like, they're doing this the same thing they've been doing since the beginning of YouTube. They've got some old man. He's an old man living in a bedroom of a house. He's saying it's his own house, even though he's living in a bedroom. They're telling a bunch of lies. That's all they're doing. I mean, it's ridiculous. So if they're trying to turn a profit, or they're just avoiding Google altogether, that's what they're doing. They're keeping their money outside of the internet. And so then they're paying their people that way. It's supposed to be based off of Wall Street and their investments, like in Paramount, I guess, in these different, in housing. They have big ties to housing. I mean, Disney places their top tier of people into rental units, and I guess Disney owns the houses, or they're just renting them. I don't know. I mean, so anyway, these background staff, either they're going to be getting evicted if they're renting and they're lying, just like the rap artists were lying. They're going to be getting evicted, aren't they? Because they're living in the houses. Ask this question. Let me ask this question. Why is it acceptable that Disney can have a whole bunch of background staff and people living in rental units and mansions, and they get a tax break and a tax write-off, but myself as a YouTuber, because of the 2017 tax cuts, we don't get that stuff anymore because Donald Trump took that away. He took that away from us. So the thing is what they want to do is they want to pile up a whole bunch of people under Disney, and then Disney and the rest of the networks, they pay for their employees to actually live in mansions. The bankers are doing this too, the banking industry, and I think it's a form of money laundering. I do. If it's not a business plan, because it's a business plan. So Trump took it away from us. That's a fact. It's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. So those of us who are on the internet who could itemize, we had that taken away. So we used to be able to, so if I paid $8 for a skein of yarn, I would itemize it off as a business expense. I can't do that. But yet the networks like Disney, they can itemize their rent, the houses their employees are staying in. They can itemize that. Or if they're in a hotel, they can itemize that off as a way to, and paying for and inflating the price of housing along the way. So they can have them in hotels. And if you guys remember Disney down in Florida, and they tried to start their autonomous city down in Florida, and then Ron DeSantis said that's not going to happen. And so that's why you see so many people in cars who are in the South, between Florida and Georgia and maybe a little bit further up north, because they're Disney employees. I have a sneaky suspicion they're Disney employees. I have a sneaky suspicion the small living community is also possibly Disney employees, or Los Angeles. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. It's just a theory, because so many of them are actually in their car vlogging, and a lot of them have said, I think some of them are church people too, they have ties to whatever, and Disney doesn't tell them how they have to talk or what they have to talk about. Now they will do things that are tied into influencing, such as if they're given a free product or something like that, they will give them a little perk or something like that, but the ones at the bottom just are not going to go anywhere. They've got them on YouTube right now. They're not going to go anywhere. And I keep hearing that Disney is closing up a lot of parts in their theme parks, and they said they have less staff. That's what I keep hearing. And so, yeah, but Maya I is absolutely right. The rich just keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And, and this is affecting the former staff of who they used to work for. We're going to hear them talking out more and more. I hear them every day. I absolutely do. I hear them. There's nothing I can do about it. I wish there was. The only thing I have is talking out about it, and recommending that people call their politicians and tell them about it and say, we can't stomach this inflation. It's hurting us. It's hurting the American public. And I use the terminology American public in the United States because it's hurting all of us together. This is not a party thing. This is hurting all of us. And, so, I mean, And I'm not the only one who's seen it. There's other people. I think there's attorneys who have seen it. They don't know what to do. The judges and attorneys don't know what to do. I know people are mad at them. They're mad at the police for all this going on. All I can do is kind of explain a little bit. It's like this is based off of my life experience. And I was trying to rationalize this at the same time while being in a domestic violent marriage. He was very, very violent. And, so, um, yeah. But this turned out nice, though. I will say that. My little thing here, it turned out really good. I'm glad I still got this to be able to... Let's see what it looks like up here. That is awesome there. Pretty cool. And you tell me, you guys really think AI can do this? I'm not American. I can't add the conversation, honestly. I sub the... Well, thank you. Okay, thanks for... So you don't understand the whole conversation. Well, I'll tell you something else. Right now is not a good time to come to America. It's just not a good time to come to America. America has a lot of problems going on right now. That looks pretty darn good here. Let's see here. What kind of camera angle we can get. And so Maya II is Miaayeye. Maya II. So we've got the two IIs in there, AYE and EYE, II. um, and so, yeah. Maya I, AI, yeah, Maya I, AI, AI. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I always thought of Maya like MIA, Maya, related to MIA, which is Miami. When I always saw MIA, I thought of Miami because I always saw the airplane tags that had Miami on them, and so it always had me thinking of Miami. Mia is... So you guys aren't telling, or are you, that those people up in Charleston who do the kid behind the camera, they're all AI? They're all an AI family and they're not real? Is that what you guys are expressing, maybe? Is that possible? I wonder what else we could make. Oh, you know what it looks like? A dinosaur head. Oh my gosh. We got a dinosaur head here. This is pretty cool. I do. I have a dinosaur. If I put it like this, doesn't it look like a dinosaur? We'll put it down like that. It does. It looks like a dinosaur with no eyes. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun when you let your imagination out of the box. And I am so glad that... Don't tell him that Jericho is not here right now. I don't know. Someone was talking about... What were they talking about earlier? Peyronie's disease. We were talking about Peyronie's disease. And they need to go to church and they need to ask the church pastor to pray for them to heal their Peyronie's disease. And I'm thinking, if the pastors are going to mention cancer over and over again, and they're going to mention heart attacks and healing and how God has healed all these heart attacks, they need to help. They're talking about people getting their blood clots healed. They really need to ask the pastors to heal their Peyronie's disease, because it's on TV all over the place. And the pastors really need to pray for them to heal their Peyronie's disease and their addiction with the Peyronie's disease that's causing it. I think, in all fairness and all honesty, they need to pray for them with Peyronie's disease. Don't you guys think so? I do. I mean, because the only thing I can say is that this is a good, it could be a Peyronie's disease sock. That's all I can say. I can't say anything more. It could be a Peyronie's disease sock. This direction or maybe even this direction. Which direction do we want? I know, I took it down in the gutter. Okay, I think it's time to go. I need to charge my phone up too. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you the next time. Oh, before I go, I want to mention I've got some pictures for some sketch art that we're going to do. So we'll be doing some sketch art and things. And if you guys want ideas for your own live streams, do some sketch art or whatever it is that you do. You know, just do something simple. You know, don't make yourself work outside. That's too much work. Do something simple. You know, like even if it's just child scribbling or something. As an adult, you know, you're going to come up with something that's kind of fun. Writing, whatever. You know, coloring for your live streams. So, anyway, we'll see you guys the next time.